Nice seeing you. Thanks for the invitation. Yes, here we go. So, while the file is uploading, let me say that I was asked to speak about a little bit about antifragile design. For those who are familiar with Nico's theory, of course, they know he is the theorist of the black swan. So about these events, unexpected, huge events that are disrupting our reality somehow. I tried to apply this some elements of this theory to the discipline of design, and also in few operational applications that we managed also to present in Milan or other places. So, however, here is the presentation. You know, the incipit of Nicola Stahle's book is wind extinguished a candle and an ice fire. So it's about how to love. It's about how to start loving wind. Okay, next slide, please. Everything starts a few years ago. It was 1987, and I was actually I was a kid. I was in Paris, just watching with my camera metal workers manifestation, and I started taking pictures. And after a while, the policemen started running behind me. They couldn't catch my camera, but a few years ago, after, next slide, please. I managed to do something. Next slide, please. Okay, and I designed a camera that was somehow hiding the act of taking a picture. So somehow was a way to activate people to think about copyright, to think about freedom of taking picture or acting somehow. Actually, by that time I was a cyberpunk activist, so this no copyright topic was really in the DNA of the movement. And also, I mean, this kind of action was a way to stimulate how to say risky behaviors and to get open to anything to happen. Next slide, please. So, you know, for those who are not that familiar, antifragile basically is about the characteristic of a system to not just to resist and to stand problems or impacts, but to improve itself in after facing impacts. So to get better, not only to resist in the same way it was before. Next, please. And this is absolutely about the principle of overcompensation. That is something I really care, even in terms of design. I mean, overcompensating means that once you have a reaction, you put more and more efforts to get better in comparison to the previous status. Next, please. And this is absolutely kind of a revolution in risk forecasting or risk management. I mean, it's not about procedure, it's not about prediction. It's about to get open to take the risk and to design things that are open to accept risk. Because otherwise, if never facing problems, risks, or issue somehow, you will never get ready for the big ones, and absolutely you will come up as a fragile system or object. Next, please. So this way, anti-fragile are small and elastic systems, as you were saying before. Elasticity is an important capacity of absorbing and getting better and better. Next, please. So, for example, anti-fragile is the bazaar, but next, very fragile is the economy of the big banks, as of course, as facts already demonstrated us, because 2008 Black Swan was something that we cannot forget. Next, please. So in terms of object, you know, I'm a designer basically, so I'm dealing with okay, systems, but objects mainly. So what is about? Is about design elements that are capable of improving themselves when used, when implemented, when exposed to face problem issues, and actually reality. The picture you see behind is about Florian Cafe in Venice. It's a very old cafe. It's an historical cafe. And you know what I'm speaking about. I've seen many in your place. You know, this kind of objects that bring within themselves the sign of time, the even damage of time, but that give a better and more tasty flavor to them. But again, it's up to us to design something that is ready to behave so. Shining surfaces, delicate and luxury stuff sometimes are extremely fragile. After the first scratch, they are not the same anymore. They are not ready to age, but aging is a beautiful quality of, must be a beautiful quality of objects and systems. Next, please. So, just a step back, what I like very much is the concept of post-traumatic growth. That is the opposite of post-traumatic stress. The example, speaking about systems, is I've always mentioned the pandemic. So after the pandemic, or during actually the pandemic, for example, European Union had a huge reaction. That is Next Generation EU, and a huge amount of funds distributed to the member countries. That, for example, for a country like Italy, my country, could have been really a chance of extreme improvement after decades of, how to say, declining trend of the country itself. And so it's a great example of a possible post-traumatic growth, or a great example of overcompensation. You do not just resist, you compensate and overcompensate with additional actions. Okay, then you can tell me that war in Ukraine came and maybe the Next Generation EU solution will not be enough. But still, it's a good example to demonstrate this, this approach. Next, please. Okay, impacts are activating our actions, but how we can maintain activation in the absence of black swans or whatever? It's about design. It's about design. Next, please. Next again, let's make a step back. Example, 1946, after World War, Piaggio company that was used to make airplanes, actually war airplanes, find a big storage of starter engines, and they didn't know what to do with that. And engineer Corradino d'Ascanio invented the Vespa. That was a way to convert, so to use these elements. Next, please. And at the same time, activating a behavior. Next, please. So the Vespa activated a huge and important behavior in the society, in even in small communities. So Italians, poor Italians after World War, discover daily holiday, like getting a ride and going to the seaside or something like that, something not existing. Next, Vespa became legendary through cinema or through anything. I mean, but it started as a local action for a specific community. Next, I'm running because from the direction they said that I still have 5 minutes, but you should take into account the technical issue of a few minutes ago. Additional examples of activation. Okay, the first generation of iPhone. Well, nobody was thinking about using gestures for dealing with digital devices. We have to be honest, it was not a all these three examples, so iPhone, Linux, and Arduino, are not a proper example of community-born actions. Yes, community participated, but still it's one single idea that was capable of activating the community and to work all together to develop an important system like Linux operating system of Arduino processor. But still was a matter of activation. Next, again, a few years later, 2013, I managed for 3 years the art direction of Creative Space Serbia. And again, it was about activating and about facing issues as taking a lot of risk. In that period, Serbia was just started the pre-accession phase to European Union. So we came up with several competitions and selection in order to participate to Milan Design Week with this kind of title, Europe. That was about you, but as Yugoslavia, as European Union and everything. The competition, the system, I cannot get into detail because I think I have no time, but was a great stimulation for that community, and most of the guys and the girls that participated to that initiative, well, they undertook their career as designers, and they are still feeding the design community in Belgrade and the whole Serbia. Next, please, and next again, because I already said that. Yeah, then we are coming to design fiction. Again, still in terms of activating communities and, well, facing even risks. This year, we made this communitarian installation that was about hacking the same model of a chair made by a luxury brand from Italia that is making also Aston Martin or Lamborghini furniture and stuff like that. And well, it really was about activating mind, even politically. Like, okay, we have to be honest, design most of the times deal with luxury. The history of design is made by examples of luxury furniture, luxury cars designed for bourgeois society and so on. But it's okay. I mean, whatever it's in our ideology, it's a good starting point to make research. But we need now, since everything is changing, climate is changing, and the situation is not sustainable, to find a way to define a kind of acceptable luxury. And we made this exercise of mind activation while hacking chairs and trying to, demonstrate you can extend the life cycle of an object, to give a second life somehow, and just not to get bored and make it waste. Next, please. And next again. I'm running. And this was also to demonstrate, please read behind, it's that climate change is a cultural manifestation, not a natural phenomenon. So next, am I running enough? Change is ongoing. I mean, no way back, and we have to face it. We have to take the risk of facing it strongly, not just saying, oh, okay, we can stop. No, no way. We have to face this new extreme normal, and this is transforming totally the culture of design. That means that we cannot go anymore with welfare oriented productions, but we need equipment, we need tools to stand and face this new extreme reality. Next, please. Well, the picture before was made by using artificial intelligence in any case. However, so what does it mean? It's not a recipe, but I'm trying to find, I mean, some methodological options. It's about detecting behaviors elastically or tune on behaviors, but even detecting the weak signals of society, or stimulating behaviors. I mean, I put the Vespa back again because Vespa detected something that was requested by society, but stimulated heavily a behavior in the Italian society. I really trust these three approaches are crucial nowadays, and it's up to us to design the tools for individual, for communities to escape this eternal present, because through social media, whatever, or request of success or visibility, we are in a cage of eternal present somehow. Next, please. Next, please. Thank you. And how to deal with this? No, sorry, I was running too fast. The one before. I think to real activating communities and to engage, because the second history of design will be made by commitment, not welfare. So to stimulate commitment, we need the power of meta stories. And the meta story is, okay, it can be design fiction, yes, speculative design, envision a possible future, but not predicting, just envision a possible preferable future through objects, okay, can be. But then to have a real meta story, we need some ideological trails. Those ones that are orienting your vision, not just procedures or processes to deal with client and society or whatever. Shivers, thrills. Next, please, now. And yes, I said already, we are about to enter the second history of design. The first one was based on welfare, more comfortable, easier, more ergonomic, and blah, blah, blah. The second one will be based on commitment. And commitment belongs to individual, but belongs to communities as well. And it's clear that the early history of design is done. Next, please. Again, most probably the second history will be less anthropocentric. Most probably not human-centered. This is a term that really scares me. Human-centered, always human in the middle, in the center of something. Most probably the new design will be planet-centered, and the action will be oriented that way. And then most probably we have to recognize that design is a recombinant process that is almost the same one that is in common in between us and artificial intelligence. Things are existing. It's just matter to recombine and recombine and recombine in order to extend the life cycle of objects and systems and so on. I don't have time, but just to give an example about life cycle, everybody's speaking about electric mobility. That is absolutely, I feel myself offended in my intelligence when we are proposing these things. Electric mobility doesn't have a chance. I cannot give you data right now. I don't have time. But if you consider the lungs, the deep supply chain, you can understand easily that it's everything but green. So the greenest objects in mobility is probably a Mercedes 1974, with which you can run most probably 4 million kilometers without substituting and without activating a new production supply chain. That is absolutely green. Okay, I'm taking diversions. Next, please. So most probably a chance to us to activate and to activate commitment in a community and to make the community open to risk, open and becoming anti-fragile, is to, well, leave things a little bit undefined, not finished. So to be less arrogant designers capable of not finishing things and let the users or people or communities finish and interpret things. There is a beautiful sentence by Gilles Clement, is to elevate in decision to the point of giving it political dignity, balance with it with power. I really love this. Next, please. Am I done with the time? I already said this, so do not design too much and leave things and system undefined. Yes, absolutely. Next, please. This is the last one, so I think I was in time. Then I just finished with a little example of another car that is like 1974 Mercedes. You may have seen the Fiat Panda, early 80s or something. This car has a very simple supply chain. And they are still running in the streets. And just as a joke, now the recent fashion of Panda drivers is to put a sticker on the back that mentions no ABS, no GPS, no airbag. Here we die like heroes. It's a kind of I don't know, kind of a revolutionary approach. Of course, it's a provocative. But why revolutionary? Because, okay, you take all the risk, but then you can fix it, you can disassemble, reassemble, and you never get stuck in the street searching for a battery charger like with the Tesla or stuff like that. I think I'm done. It was a kind of a rush. But at least we didn't have additional technical issues. Was I decently in time?
Thank you very much. You were on time, we might say.